I'll kick it off at plus 240 underdog in Los Angeles. The Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Los Angeles Kings. The Jackets continue just to be a kind of pesky team. And I don't know what you read into this kind of mini phenomena since the trade deadline. Maybe it's a little bit of a dead cat bounce across the entire NHL, but we're seeing these lottery bound teams pull off some upsets. The Blackhawks against the Bruins last night. I mean, the Coyotes against the Flames and the Habs against the Penguins. Not all of them are deserved wins, but it just is happening more often than not lately. And I actually think Columbus sits up okay here against the Kings. It could be a Phoenix Copley start. You'd think that they'd want to go back to Korpisalo against his former team, but just in terms of like schedule and keeping Korpisalo fresh for the playoffs, I would imagine this would be, if it wasn't his former team, this would be the spot where they maybe want to get Copley in there. But regardless, I just think the number's too high on a team that's been playing better hockey for quite some time now, relative to where we have seen them and where they're priced in the market in the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I like the Blue Jackets right now. Their roster's starting to look really sharp again. We talked about how at the start of the year, and I know this was a really common take, but everyone thought they were a team that overachieved last year and therefore was actually going to drop up this year, even having picked up Goudreau. But now I think we're kind of getting to the opposite part where they're starting to trend up. And I think this is going to be a team that next year I'm starting to have my eye on as like one that's probably going to be a buy low candidate all year because I like a lot of the guys. Marchenko's starting to look good. The third line is actually looking good. I really like Robinson as a driver. So yeah, I think there's enough talent there to have some upside in this matchup, and I like that play. And then the other one, so I'm gonna go with my underdog slash anytime goal score, but price wise, we'll look at it as an underdog. I'm going with Matthew Tkachuk to score versus Montreal. He's been unreal over the last 2 games with 6 points. He'd really been pressing before that. He had 5.57 shots on goal for a 7-game sample, just waiting to break through. And then he finally did versus Winnipeg with 2 goals. I think he's going to follow that up versus Montreal. I really, really like the way he's playing. And that line with Bennett back on it, they are second in the league in expected goals per 60, which is really what matters when we're talking about player props where we want them to score. Because, if you throw out that a line's 75% expected goals, that's great. And obviously that doesn't mean everything regardless. But the more important part is how much are they generating? Because that's what I think is really critical. They could be doing that just by allowing nothing against. So that line is second in the entire league, and they've done that over a massive sample. The only line that's generated more than them is when they throw Barkov at center between Tkachuk and Verhaeghe. So that unit's been really good. I think they've looked especially good lately with Bennett back. So I like it. Give me Tkachuk to score a goal versus the Canadiens, which is obviously easier to do than a normal team.